After its notorious run in the 90s, Beavis and Butthead returned to MTV in 2011, but that ended up being a pretty big failure. So what exactly happened? Keep watching to find out why the Beavis and Butthead revival failed. In the 90s, Beavis and Butthead was more than a little controversial. It upset a lot of people thanks to its crude, rude, destructive, and antisocial characters. Beavis' love of playing with fire and its supposed role in a real-life copycat act in which a kid burned down his family home led MTV to ban all references to fire in the series. Even a legislator criticized the show on the floor of the United States Senate. That all just made Beavis and Butthead seem super edgy. If not for the series testing the public's appetite for sick and twisted animation, there might not have been shows like South Park and Family Guy following in its wake.
She said wood. That was cool.
Wood! You're right. Wood!
Beavis and Butthead made room for a vast TV landscape full of adult animation, so much so that by the time it reappeared on MTV in 2011, it didn't feel that provocative anymore. If anything, it felt like a cynical cash grab to some viewers. USA Today interviewed students at the University of North Carolina at Asheville about the revival, and many of them felt the show was just playing into rampant 90s nostalgia. As one student put it, "I think it's a poor way for creator Mike Judge to try and capitalize on the memories of kids who grew up in the 90s. Not only was the whole vibe of Beavis and Butthead possibly played out by 2011, but so was the show's content. It had struck a chord in the early 90s because, despite being a crudely animated series, it felt like a slice of real life. The title characters were a couple of bored teens who watch TV, hate school, and busy themselves with troublemaking. They seemed far more realistic than any other portrayal of young adults on TV, like the ones on Beverly Hills 90210 or Saved by the Bell. But when Beavis and Butthead returned in 2011, their activities still felt like a slice of 90s life instead of 2010's life. Try as they might, the new Beavis and Butthead writers had a tough time updating the characters for the modern world. After all, they still wore the same t-shirts bearing the names of AC/DC and Metallica, two bands a little past their prime and no longer favored by the average 15-year-old. While the Beavis and Butthead revival felt like a 90s time capsule, its creative staff and the powers that be at MTV did try to update a big chunk of the show's format. When the series premiered in 1993, MTV aired hours of music videos each day, and Beavis and Butthead would scan through such outlets to find videos they could either headbang to or savagely mock. But by 2011, MTV had moved away from videos and towards reality shows about teens and young adults. And so when Beavis and Butthead reemerged that year, they would watch one or two music videos per episode for old time's sake. But they would mainly provide catty commentary on MTV's library of reality shows, such as Jersey Shore or 16 and Pregnant. Unfortunately, this didn't really work out as well as making fun of videos, and as a result, Beavis and Butthead were strangers in a strange land, lost souls from another time. Television is a business, and networks determine what shows to renew and keep investing in based on how many viewers they pull in, which helps set advertising rates. Generally speaking, the better a show's performance in the Nielsen ratings, the more likely it is to be profitable and earn another season. With this in mind, the end of the Beavis and Butthead revival may have come down to a simple business decision about viewership. Nostalgia-driven viewers initially turned out for the revival. The premiere episode, broadcast on October 27, 2011, attracted 3.3 million viewers. In the coveted 18 to 49 demographic, it pulled a 1.8 rating, defeating all other shows on cable primetime that night. Still, Beavis and Butthead didn't bring in as nearly as large of an audience as the show it temporarily replaced in its time slot, Jersey Shore. MTV had to have been happy with those initial numbers. But they definitely weren't pleased with the ratings that subsequent episodes earned. Viewers didn't stick around from week to week, with the season finale on December 29, 2011 drawing a paltry 919,000 total viewers. One major factor in MTV's decision to not bring back the revived Beavis and Butthead for a second season involves some good old corporate interference, or rather a lack thereof. While Mike Judge ended the series of his own accord back in 1997 due to dwindling creative energy, he felt recharged by the time the reboot rolled around. And he apparently had plenty of gas left in the tank because he didn't actually want the show to end when it did for the second time. Sadly, the show never came back in 2012 or any year since. As Judge told Mandatory in 2014, that kind of caught up in some kind of changeover of the top brass of MTV. Oftentimes, when new TV executives come in, they want to focus on their own projects and not those of their predecessors, and that very well could have been what doomed the revamped Beavis and Butthead. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.